Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Let's Get Digital with Wake and Make Media. I am your co-host, Corey Turner.
And I am Megan Najer Turner.
And she's beautiful, my beautiful wife and partner. Megan, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we are talking about how to infuse your brand or content with comedy. And I have a book launching the end of January 2024 called Punchlines to Profits. And it basically takes my knowledge as a stand-up comedian, sketch comedy person, and marketer, puts them together, and it teaches you how to infuse your content or brand with comedy, like I said, because I think a lot of people are afraid to do this, but at the end of the day, it gets people's attention.
Who doesn't like comedy?
And it's different, it shakes things up, it comes across as more authentic, and I think it could be a really powerful tool to use that could really like level up your marketing game. So I'm going to give you this is kind of an excerpt out of my book, but I'm giving you some of the easiest tips to get started doing this. So the first one is to know your audience. If your audience is very serious and they're most likely going to hate anything comedic, don't do this. That's step one.
Yeah, maybe if you're selling to like accountants,
Yeah, but then again, like at the same time, they could like it because accountants are probably so used to like this boring,
staleness.
Yeah. So it's hard to say because even if your audience is very, very serious, they still might like comedy. So if it is a very serious audience, just inject it slowly. Whereas if it's a Gen Z, quirky, I'm trying to think of like a quirky Gen Z brand.
Like Dr. Squatch.
Yeah, like what do they sell again?
Squatty Potty.
Squatty Potty. Like they infuse their stuff with a lot of humor. Even their like the way their copywriting is on the humorous side. So Manscaped is another one. So play around with it, but just the first thing to do, even just when you're building a brand in general, is to really establish your audience and know what's going to work and not work. Like, for instance, an example is from when I used to do stand-up comedy, is if you're performing a show at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday in front of, like, boomers plus, you're not going to want to be really raunchy and, these, like,
offended.
Nasty Gen Z type jokes. They're not going to get it, and they're going to be offended, and they're going to walk out.
Yeah.
So as opposed to doing a performance at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night at the Comedy Store off of Sunset Boulevard, that you could be more raunchy and
get gross with it.
There you go. I have learned the hard way that you always need to know who your audience is. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's step one. Number two. Wait, let me just. Okay. Number two is to focus on relatable situations that your audience would relate to, basically. So, for instance, like I did a commercial a while ago for a company called Clawguard. Should I not say their name?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, for a company called Clawguard, and they basically, it was these like scratch protectors, so your pets couldn't scratch at your furniture or the window seals, whatever. You put them on the surfaces of things to keep your pets from scratching. So they knew their audience was younger and like would be more open to funny stuff. So what they did is they had, instead of real pets playing the role of real pets, they had adults dress up as the pets and then pretend to scratch, etc. So it was like
adults do take direction a little bit better than animals.
So it was a lot easier and a lot less of a headache, but also funny.
Yeah. Very goofy.
Yeah. Okay. So, Okay, so use surprise and the unexpected. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I used an example of Jeff's Roofing Company, that commercial.
Oh, okay.
You want to comment on that?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so number 3, you can implement this element of surprise and unexpectedness. Is that a real word?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so we did that with a roofing company.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to tell them that?
So basically, it starts off, and this couple is like looking at the roof, and it's leaking. They're like, "Oh, are you gonna fix that?" And then this guy just explodes through the roof,
like shatters the entire
and
roof.
Just everything breaks, and he's like, "Yeah, what's going on? Like, you just broke my roof." Like, usually roofing companies are about fixing roofs.
Exactly.
So it's funny that it was like, this broke the roof.
Yes, even worse than it was in the first
so that's going
place.
to grab your attention. You're like, what the heck just happened?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it was just funny. And in the end, it was basically saying that, like, other roofers are just going to break it, charge you, and then leave, where this roofing company is going to actually fix something, do it right.
So this is a little bit of like a deviation of
like
this
a parody of
setup
other
punch
roofing companies. Yeah.
Well, that's what. No, but it's like this concept of the surprise is setup punch. So it's like, you're leading your audience one way, and then bam, something is like unexpected throws out there. So you can play around with that. Okay. Another way to do this is to leverage pop culture and talk about trending things in your, in your niche, essentially. Like an example is, for instance, our coffee shop client, and this isn't necessarily like laugh out loud funny, but it was kind of like goofy, but also cool when they decided to go all out when the Barbie movie was coming out. And so they had, tell them about what they did with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every drink was Barbie themed. It was like pink, glitter, everything like that. When before that, all the drinks had been like nautical themed.
More like manly, to be honest.
Yeah, like super manly. Yeah, I mean, like all about like boats and knots and fish and like sharks and stuff like that. And then, it just went super left turn, and they're like, let's embrace pink.
Yeah,
and it like movie. And it was the best month they ever had.
Was it?
Yeah.
Still?
Yep.
So it's like all the drinks were sold out. They were so cool. And then we played like Nicki Minaj Barbie music in the back of them. They had pink whipped cream. They had all the baristas get their nails done pink.
Yeah.
So I did like cackle when I first saw the video, because it was like a coffee company with like Nicki Minaj rapping with like a pink Cadillac
like for a solid
coming through.
Month, the whole grid was just pink. It was so much pink. Yeah.
But it was very relevant because Barbie was super popular at the time
when the movie came
and
out.
It was like got a chuckle and attention, and it was the best month yet.
And they did a giveaway for the Barbie dolls. So on top of that,
So anything that's trending that has to do with your industry, check it out. And you could always, it doesn't need to be, again, like laugh out loud. You're laughing so hard you're having a freaking heart attack. It could just be like subtle ways to what?
You can look at something that's like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like cute, quirky, fresh.
Oh,
okay.
That's cool.
So.
You'll remember that.
Yes. Okay, so another example, we have done a video on hooks. And it is a way to do this is to focus on the setup. So you can implement comedy in the first hook. In the hook, which is the first 3 to 5 seconds. An example, we've done a bunch, but one was like me popping out of a tree. One was me in a bathtub, filled with bubbles, and like a rubber ducky and me holding a chihuahua.
Yeah, there was one where you were like lighting clothes on fire because they didn't fit anymore.
Yes, exactly. So those were, and the rest of the ads weren't necessarily funny, but the first 3 to 5 seconds were ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, funny, and then like a doctor talking.
Yeah, literally, like it got very serious actually, but it gets your attention, gets people to laugh, and they're gonna pay more attention to your brand if they're like, whoa, that's outrageous. I've never seen anyone even willing to take that risk because it's so over the top. Yeah,
and like going back to like, maybe accountant wouldn't like comedy or something like that. That particular brand, their demographic was like 65, 70-year-old women.
Plus.
Yeah. So
and they didn't,
worked.
But it did work. I think before we started doing that, it was more serious.
Yeah, it would be like, just like sped up people working out.
Right. Where it's like, this is going to get your attention. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I just got 2 more. Okay. You can always use, what example do I have this? Oh, props and visuals. Do we have any clients who have done props and visual stuff?
You like organic stuff, maybe?
Yeah.
Like with the big sword?
When did I do that?
You like had that big sword. You were like, it was like getting ready to go.
Yeah, but I was talking about for a brand.
Yeah. That wasn't for a brand at all.
I said I was doing it for the commercial for a marketing company when I'm like, that we never filmed. I used that example where I dress up as a grandma and I'm talking about traditional marketing.
Oh. Interesting.
Okay. So next we got some props and visuals. You can always implement props, visuals. I frequently embarrass myself online. So for one of our commercials, we were trying to show the difference between traditional marketing and digital marketing. And so I was playing myself, talking to me, who was dressed as a grandmother, basically debating why traditional marketing is kind of passé and you need to embrace digital marketing.
Yes.
So you put on a wig and
basically
like
we're trying to kind of like hit home, like, hey, the stuff you're doing is ancient, dated. See, grandma would do this, but like you need to be more more modern. get with the times. Digital marketing is the way to go.
Exactly. So cute, fun, quick way to do that. You can do it with anything. Okay, and then last but not least, you could use self-deprecating humor. So you can kind of call out something in your industry that either you don't like or is a little cringy or is just kind of goofy. Do you have any examples of that?
Yeah, I guess you could like call out your competitors almost, be like.
Yeah, when did we do this?
I don't know.
Well, so I've done it with like, we own a marketing company and I have a fake comedic character named Trev who's like a really obnoxious marketer.
Yeah, like a total scumbag.
Total
like
scumbag.
Artist marketer.
Con artist. Like,
we've all seen them.
Yeah. If you're not in the marketing world, they sadly exist a lot amongst like the entrepreneur marketing crew online.
Yeah.
And so basically I'm just kind of making fun of the fact that these people do exist and I am a marketer. So I'm kind of calling out my own industry by acting like this really obnoxious marketer who tells you that if you just buy his ebook, you will immediately become a multimillionaire and be picking up chicks in your Lamborghini.
Exactly. And he like dances and he's like, $100 million real estate firm, like, like pointing and stuff like that. And it makes no sense. And it's really fun.
Yeah. It's
I
like
really
those.
Enjoy Trev.
Thank you. It's those guys who, they're wearing like showing off their jewelry and they're like stacks of cash and talking about how you could just get rich overnight.
Yeah. They pull up in their Lamborghini that they absolutely rented for like a minute.
Exactly.
And they were like, yo, if you want to be rich like me, like sign up for my course, dude.
Exactly. So those are some very simple ways to get started implementing comedy. Again, if you are doing the whole self-deprecating route, you don't want to discredit yourself or make yourself seem like you don't know what you're doing, but more so look at it like you could poke fun at trends in your industry. Or your competitors. You don't want to just be like, hey, I'm a shitty lawnscape artist, so hire me. Like, no one's going to want to hire you if you're saying that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
the roofing one was pretty good at that too. It was like,
roofing. They're calling out roofing
at the other like scumbag roofers.
Exactly.
And we're not one of them.
Exactly. So, I have a slew more, but they're saved for the book coming out January 2024. But in the meantime, you can play around with this. Comedy is so subjective and you really do have to take risks and play around with it. And so my biggest suggestion would be try to implement some of these if they work for you, your brand, your audience, and then basically analyze your analytics, see how they're doing, see what's working, what's not working, and then throw out what's not, keep what is, and just keep going.
Do you have your landing page set up or like the website you want to use?
I think it's punchlinestofprofit.com, but I don't remember.
Okay. Should we say that or just no?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe just like follow me at Megan Makes Comedy.
Okay. Follow me at Megan Makes Comedy on Instagram. You have to find me by searching Nager, N-A-G as in George, E-R, because my name is Megan Nager, and for some reason, the word mega is blocked on Instagram search.
For some reason. I think it's
Zuckerberg.
Mega Man.
Mega.
Right? I think Mega Man. No, I'm just making things up. It's
okay, yeah, no, but it's not coming up right now. So Megan Makes Comedy, search by Nager, N-A-G-E-R, and I will keep you posted about when my official book launches. But in the meantime, I hope that helps, and try to infuse your content with comedy. It's fun.
Love it. All right, thanks guys.
Bye.